Superhero movies are the only reason I am still alive. In 2019, I had a big sad because life was lifing me very, very hard and my mental health was in the toilets. I had constant thoughts of taking myself to the big movie theater in the sky, if you know what I mean, and it seemed like nothing was going to stop me from doing it. But then, one fateful night, I had a conversation with this friend of mine and I was basically giving her an extensive account of how life was assaulting me from all corners, and she kept on trying to make me feel better, but my brain wasn't having any of it. It wasn't until I realized that Endgame was only a few weeks away from being released that I snapped out of it. My problems weren't technically solved at that particular point in time, but I just suddenly stopped caring because I literally now had a reason to live. I could end it all right after, but it's sort of watching Avengers Endgame on opening day at the cinema with the boys kept me going just a little bit longer. That same year, Endgame and 3 other superhero movies would go on to make over $1 billion at the global box office, and ever since that fateful year, such consecutive $1 billion superhero hat-trick box office landslides have never been witnessed again. If we're lucky, once every 3 years, a cameo-first multiverse-driven gimmick movie passes the $1 billion mark. But make no mistake, those are 100% the exception to the rule. The reality is, superhero movies are a dying industry and there might be nothing anybody can do about it. In the big year of 2025, we've had 4 superhero movies that came out and flopped at the worldwide box office. I'm not going to talk too deeply about budgets because studios lie about that shit all the time and I don't feel like speaking with any degree of conviction about information that's predicated on industry manipulation. But with how much they spend on production and marketing alone, it's safe to say that the studios are expected to make over $1 billion on each and every one of these movies. I don't care what James Gunn has to say on Twitter. You don't make $1 billion on an obscure movie like Joker in 2019, then quadruple the budget for its sequel in 2024 and not expect to make at least double of what you made before. The sequel made 200 million, by the way. They all want these movies to make $1 billion. That's just an indisputable industry fact. Conservatively, we can see that 700 million is a nice consolation prize. But the problem is, they're not even getting that. On an alleged budget of 180 million, not accounting for the money they spent on all the film's multiple reshoots and its marketing, Captain America 4 made $400 million. The last movie in the franchise made $1 billion, by the way. So no matter which way you splice it, that's a fucking flop. On a budget of 180 million and $100 million for marketing, Thunderbolts made... Wait, for context, when discerning the profitability of a movie, we tend to fall back on a very reliable formula. Simply add its production budget to its marketing budget and double it. That's the break-even point. Break-even is just a fancy way of saying the movie made its money back. Then anything after that is profit. And we need to double it because movie theaters usually take around half of whatever a movie makes. Percentages vary around the world, but 50% is a good general estimate. So for example, Thunderbolt's production budget is 180 million. Its marketing budget is 100 million. Add them together and we have 280 million. Double that and its break-even point is 560 million. Anything after 560 million is profits. And keep in mind that they want $1 billion, but they will settle for 700 million. Thunderbolt made 300 million. Mega fucking flop. On an allegedly reported budget of $225 million, ignoring of course the annual tax documents we saw that says it's way higher than that, and a reported standard marketing budget of $100 million, even though this movie had triple the amount of marketing you'd see for a regular superhero movie. You run the numbers and its alleged break-even point is $650 million. Keep in mind that this is the start of their new universe, so on top of already wanting $1 billion on a regular day, they want to hit the ground running with another even bigger, undeniable $1 billion success just to put their freaking balls on the table. Superman so far has made 500 million, which is okay, but I'll be completely shocked if it crosses the $600 million line. Slight tangent, but Man of Steel made 670 million in 2013. When you adjust for inflation, that is $870 million in today's money because the dollar depreciates over time. And I'll be damned if that piece of shit movie makes it to 650, talk less of 670 or 870. So the Gun Goons are never gonna hear the end of it from the Snyder Bros. That's gonna be fun to watch. To take a line from Mr. Nedrotic himself, DC had to steal Marvel's guy in order to finally make a good movie, and he wasn't even their best guy. Plus the film sucks donkey balls and it's gonna be a flop. And make no mistake as to where my allegiances lie. I'm not a Marvel or DC or Snyder or Gunn guy. I just love to watch the world burn. Fantastic Four so far has made 250 million and its opening weekend was not as high as Superman, so it's safe to say that it's not making $1 billion either. Contrary to the statement I made just a few seconds ago, I'm really not happy about any of this. Superheroes are my favorite genre of film and they are the only reason I'm still alive to this day. But we need to be honest with ourselves here. The party is over. There's no point in bitching and moaning about it. All we can do is find out why. And luckily for you, we're already putting several hours into researching exactly why this strange superhero fatigue. Of course it's superhero fatigue, right? What are we doing here? Now, I don't know if they finally published an official definition, but the way I see it, superhero fatigue can be described like this. Many years ago, in an alternate timeline far away, movie studios could release any type of superhero movie and it was almost guaranteed to make anywhere between $600 million and $1 billion, irregardless of the quality of the film. This was because audiences were willing to watch anything that had the superhero branding on it, so it essentially became a money printing industry. We would get like 8 different superhero movies from 3 different studios, and at least half of them would make over $1 billion, with the other half not being too far behind, of course. The studios were swimming in money, but now some of those movies can't even make it to the $100 million line. So it's safe to say that we are no longer in that alternate timeline. Somewhere along the line, audiences decided that superhero movies just weren't worth it anymore, and now most of them are losing money. That is superhero fatigue. It's not bad movie fatigue because everyone has always disliked bad movies, but in that alternate timeline, Sony and DC were consistently making shitty movies that all almost made over $1 billion. The difference is, back then MC movies were of such high quality that they were able to carry the weight of Sony and DC's inadequacy. And because most normies don't really care to make themselves aware of the delineation between Marvel and DC, or the MCU and the Sonyverse, or the DCU and the DCEU, like chronically online weirdos on the internet such as myself, it all blended together in their eyes, which led to shitty Sony movies like Venom making $800 million and shitty DC movies like Aquaman making $1 billion. Ever since Endgame, Marvel has been consistently shitting the bed in terms of quality of their output, and DC and Sony never stopped shitting the bed. So now the industry as a whole has just lost the trust of the audience. If you want a more in-depth breakdown of the downfall of the MCU, I have a video series that analyzes and chronicles the whole thing from all the primary points of contention. So go have fun with those when you're done here. But the party is over, bro. We need to pack it up. The only reason outliers like No Way Home and Deadpool 3 managed to make $1 billion is because they're filled to the balls with gratuitous cameos. No Way Home actually had a great degree of reverence for its legacy characters, but make no mistake, without those culturally relevant cameos, it would have been a completely different box office story. Why do you think they are resurrecting the old X-Men universe for the next Avengers movie? They found the infinite money glitch and they're going all in. But it's only going to be a matter of time before they run out of legacy characters to exploit, and if they don't start telling great stories like they used to, soon enough the audience will eventually abandon them yet again, this time for good. Subscribe to my Patreon for Weko's Echo. That's my Patreon exclusive weekly podcast where I review movies, answer your questions, and I react to Reddit stories. Well, this was fun. Subscribe to the Patreon, link in the description, and I will see you guys in the next analysis.